question to all of you once the questions are done.
Okay.
All right, okay. Okay, we're starting in 1 minute. Or how is it?
Dalam screen, first, and then this kan should be script essentially, and then ada mention password mention
Ni kat sini.
or the same thing as this one.
So do I mention here or do I mention here?
You just just refer from here lah senang.
Okay, alright, okay. Are we starting? Okay, hello and good evening, everyone, especially to all of our viewers. Assalamualaikum and good evening. So thank you for joining us for our third live talk. This will be the third live talk, and thank you for being loyal and keep on watching with us and being with us. So tonight is all about gaming. I'm sure all of you guys out there, during or before the MCO or during the MCO were playing so much games. So we're going to talk about gaming today. And to all gamers out there, hang tight and you will enjoy this one because we have three prominent individuals in the gaming industry. Okay, so from the live talk, you can learn about the gaming industry, how games are made, or various technologies implemented in games, and so much more. And you could also ask all our speakers today, okay, but importantly, you will have a clearer picture on how you can pursue your dream and becoming a leading game designer or game developer. So before we continue and start, let me introduce you to our top three industries practitioners, yeah? All right, first we have Mr. Paul Loy. He is the co-founder of 19th Miles. All right, I'm sure some of you have heard of it. All right, and then Mr. Hazri Amir, he is the CEO of Nexus Soft, and Mr. Sean Back, he is the International Game Developers Association and currently representing Malaysia. So, hello, gentlemen. How are you? How are you today?
Good.
Hi, Lisa. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here and taking your time off. I'm sure you are all very busy, but thank you for being part of this live talk, my future live talk, and to help enhance the understanding of students out there. Yeah. Okay. So we will get to know more about our speakers later in this live talk. All right, but so make sure that you take full advantage by asking them questions that you want to ask, something that might be bothering you before that you don't know who can answer, and we will try to attend to every questions that you have. All right, and we will also have a lucky draw competition. All right, we are giving away cash rebates worth of 1,500, a Bluetooth headphones, and if you stay long enough, you might win a brand new gaming laptop by the end of the live
Uh,
talk. All right. Okay. So stay tuned with us, and we have great speakers tonight. And also, not forgetting to our sponsor for tonight, My Future Food. All right. If you know, or to some of our speakers who has been with us for the past three live talks, all right, or two live talks, all right, you are aware that My Future is a platform, a service engine platform where you can search your universities or you want to know more about the universities, and you will get a lot of information directly from our website or our apps, all right? And at the same time, we are now having My Future Food as part of our My Future apps and My Future platform. Now, what My Future Food do is it is the first student-focused food delivery service covering multiple universities and colleges in KL area. All right, and currently we're expanding to other areas in Klang Valley as well. So whenever you want to order your food through the My Future app, you will get ample discounts, especially for students. All right. Okay. Now this service is applicable to all higher education students, and no matter what university or college you are from, you can order from My Future Food. So stay tuned to know more about it. Yeah. All right. So I can see that our speakers are ready. All right. And so let's start with the first question with them. All right. So let's start with Mr. Paul first. All right. Mr. Paul, can you briefly introduce yourself to the viewers?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Lisa. It's good to be here with Sean and Hezri as well. My name is Paul Lui. I'm the co-founder of 19 Miles. Yeah, so I've been, so do you want me to talk about the background as well?
Okay, maybe you can share a little bit about your early life, just briefly about your school, your higher education, and then about your work and your current project right now.
Okay, cool. So I'm born in Ipoh. Spent around 11 years staying in Cameron Highland. Primary school in Tapa, secondary school back in Ipoh, Perak, Anderson School. So if anyone's from Anderson, hello to you guys. Completed my bachelor degree in entrepreneurship in Utah, Sungai Long. Cheras Selangor, right? So I've been working in the media, advertising, and ad tech industries for 9 years now. Cumulatively 9 years. 19 Miles. So what are the whole purpose of us starting 19 Miles is we have problems that we want to solve, and we have the solutions, right? So the problem is, we have a lot of we call it the talented or the creative peoples, right? Be it musicians, and of course tonight we are talking to many of you guys are gamers. How to create a sustainable income, doing what you like. So that is the problem, and we have a solutions that we came out with something we call it the incubator program for content creators, right? Okay. So in this program, we provide whatever that is necessary, regardless whether it's resources, skills, and so on, for all these talents, and we help them build a brand of themselves.
Skills, is it?
Sorry?
Their skills? Oh,
yes,
okay.
building a brand, building
skills.
a brand, yes,
Yeah.
and skills as well, of course, including personal development and so forth, right? So that is basically the basic knowledge of what we are doing here in 19 Miles, right?
Oh, okay, all right. So students out there, if you are listening after you graduated or before, even you can join Mr. Miles if you want to have like personal development and whatnot. Just go to his company and see what you can do there. All right. And for moving forward, we are going to ask Mr. Hazri. Maybe you can share a little bit about yourself and your current project as well. But before we continue, gentlemen, if you don't mind, is it okay if we mix a little bit of Bahasa because we have some requests from the students that they might want to talk in Bahasa? Okay, all right. So we'll just make it casually English and Bahasa, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Hazri, you may proceed.
Okay, I try my best to campur-campur bahasa
Okay.
English, biasanya English lah.
Okay.
My name is Hazri. I'm the CEO of Nexasoft Sdn Bhd. Okay, background maybe just to rewind a bit how I started this journey of developing games. Okay, I would consider myself as I would say a serial technopreneur. So altogether, I have already built like 4 companies before Nexasoft. Okay, first company right after I graduated from UTP, University Technology Petronas. Okay, that is where I get the idea during my final year project. If the student know, if they enter the university, they need to complete a final year project. So my final year project, I created a game. So that's how everything started. I got can say a gold medal award lah during the FIP. So that's boost my motivation, and that's I started company right away with the name of Hes Media Interactive Sdn Bhd, and with the game it's called the Math Quest. It is an educational game with the element of role playing game concept. Okay, I won several awards from them and so on. And as you know, business are not always smooth. So sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down. So I pivot my company, not focusing on the game development that I created, into a service company. So which means that any company that would like to have a game or software developed by us, they can engage with us. And that's how Nexasoft started. So I would say to the students, this is actually, I would say, my passion lah. Developing game and playing game is my passion. So I just stick with it until today. So that's how I came about to be the CEO of Nexasoft today lah. Okay, I think that's from my side. Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. That's very extensive explanation and how you started. All right, and last but not least, Mr. Sean, do you mind sharing your background and current projects that you are having right now with us?
Yeah, sure. I'll try to cover everything. It's been a long 9 years coming to this point. I had normal upbringing, studied at public school, but I finished my tertiary education in the One Academy. I graduated with a diploma, just a simple diploma in digital animation. From there, I worked 2 years as like a technical consultant or a trainer for Autodesk Maya. So my main skills at that time was mainly 3D. I had no idea how to make a game at all. But one day, I just picked up Unity, which is a 3D game engine, and just taught myself how to code during my job as a 3D artist as well. So I just secretly learned to code while no one's looking. And one day, MDEC had a competition to develop games, right? And I was tasked to make a game, a prototype within 3 weeks and pitch it, which I did. And we won about 60,000 ringgit to start developing games. And from there, I just quit my job and just focused on making games. Yeah, so at the time, I only had about 6 months of experience just coding. And then from there, I started a company, closed the company, joined 2 other game companies, left. I've taught at KDU University as a lecturer for game programming. And then sometime at about 2017, in 2015, I started to run community events where I invited a lot of game developers to just come together, show off their games, play each other's games, and give feedback, right? So it's to build a community. And at 2017, the chapter coordinator at that time for IGDA Malaysia was Basil Akmalbedin, who works at MDEC right now. He basically passed the torch to me to become the current chapter coordinator for IGDA Malaysia. And what we do at IGDA Malaysia is basically, we try to assist the community in growing. We become an advocate for the game developers. And what I mainly try to do is just make sure they get the resources they need to succeed, to get access to the funding they need, make sure they have all this available to them. They're to let them know they're not alone in this ecosystem. And aside from that, I have my own company that's still running. It's called Weird Works Productions, previously Weird Works Studios. I also run a sole proprietorship outfit called Sean Beck Games. That's the name of the website as well, which I use to publish the first Malaysian game in PS4 and PS Vita. And right now I work for Unity Technologies, which is the company that got me started making games in the first place. I think it got, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of roles and hats. So, and this is where I'm right now, working at Weird Works, Unity Technologies, and IGDA Malaysia.
Okay, all right. So, wow, well, that's all the speakers come from diverse background, very interesting background, all right. So, students kat luar sana yang berminat dengan program gaming, yang ingin tahu macam mana mereka memulakan perjalanan, mereka dah menceritakan sedikit demi sedikit tentang perjalanan mereka sebagai seorang orang kata advocate in gaming, program gaming ataupun maybe gaming development ataupun mempunyai company-company yang berkaitan dengan gaming development dan sebagainya. Jadi stay tune dengan kami supaya anda boleh tahu dengan lebih lanjut how can you become a game developer or how can you involve in the gaming industry macam Mr. Sean kata ataupun macam Mr. Paul kata and Cik Hazri sendiri ada platform ya, mungkin kita tidak tahu ataupun most of you might not know there are actually platforms related to gaming industry. So this is very interesting for us to also learn together. Alright, so before we move to the next questions, alright, which might be more detailed, let's take a short break for a while. We will have a lucky draw. Okay, we will have a lucky draw. As I have mentioned before, there are a few things that you can win in this live talk. You will have Bluetooth or you will have a cash rebate. So you will have a lucky draw. Okay, all right. So let's start with the lucky draw first. Before we start, we will talk about the sponsorship of My Future. So My Future is the one sponsoring the live talk. So if you want to know more, My Future Food. It actually allows you to order up to 15 kilometers from your universities or your colleges. So whenever you feel hungry, you can just use My Future Food and you can order and you can get ample discounts because you are a student. So we give a lot of discounts for students as well. So kepada student-student yang tengah buat project paper, malam-malam tengah lapar dan sebagainya, boleh menggunakan My Future Food platform ya. Kita boleh hantar direct kepada dorm, kepada rumah, kepada even kelas-kelas anda semua. Walaupun mungkin kebanyakannya dah tak pergi ke kelas kan, gunakan online, tapi ada juga yang masih harus menghabiskan FYP project dan sebagainya, ada yang turut hadir ke kelas dan sebagainya. Jadi okay, kita teruskan dengan kita punya live talk dengan kita punya kita punya lucky draw. Sekejap okay. Alright. So adik Chan Jin Fan. Okay, Mr. Chan Jin Fan. Alright, if you are listening, you have won a lucky draw. Okay, and this is a rebate of 1,500 ringgit. So please give us a call before the live talk ends and you can redeem your prize with us. Alright? Okay, so before we continue our live talk today, mungkin ada siapa-siapa yang tertinggal akan agenda kita hari ini. Okay, sebenarnya kita dah selepas tahap speakers background ataupun current project. Jadi mereka dah sharekan dengan kita background diorang dan project apa yang mereka handle ataupun company apa yang diorang handle. Jadi kalau tak sempat tengok, boleh tengok di live talk kita di Facebook lah. Nanti lepas dah habis. Cumanya sekarang saya cuma nak reinstate balik subtopik yang kita akan cover hari ini. growth of game industry di Malaysia. Okay, ini agak interesting. Okay, emergence of e-sports in Malaysia. Agak kebelakangan ini e-sports juga dah menjadi salah satu agenda yang sering diperkatakan. Okay, kita juga ada new age technology in games, alright, section, and then kita ada benefits of gaming for students and common misconceptions. Ni interesting juga, mungkin ada pelajar-pelajar yang sering kena marah ya sebab selalu main game. Okay, jadi mungkin kita boleh dengar pandangan daripada kita punya expert dan careers in game industry, dan juga kepada mereka yang ingin lebih lanjut, ingin tahu dengan lebih lanjut. Mr. Sean sendiri merupakan lecturer di KDU College. Okay, jadi jika sesiapa yang ingin tahu study pathways in the game design and development, so kita akan kita akan discuss dengan lebih lanjut lah. Okay, alright. So ada beberapa soalan lagi yang kita ada nak tanya. Cuma sekarang ni saya nak tanya dulu daripada di kalangan students ya. Diorang dah excited. Belum saya tanya lagi, diorang dah tanya. Alright. So maybe we can start with Mr. Paul. How does gaming produce job opportunity in the future? Mungkin Mr. Paul boleh terangkan sikit?
So when you talk about gaming industry providing job opportunity in the future, we have many of them, especially when it comes to there's of course there's a new branch of esports. Then you have the normal gaming developers, right? So when you say gaming, there's a lot. I mean, from my experience, you can go with. I mean, for us, like 19 Miles, we are encouraging people to create more content. So that is one of the way that, or you can say, a new type of job that everyone can look into. There's a lot of people are looking into creating contents on YouTube. There are people streamings on Twitch or on Facebook gaming, for example. So those are what we call or what we consider as a new job or the what we call the future job as well.
Future job, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, it doesn't matter what you are currently studying at the moment. Anyway, in the future, nobody knows what that they're studying right now will fit into the gaming. So what I can say right now is just focus on what you are good at, and as you go along, as the gaming industry grows, then you will see there are a lot. Actually, there's a lot more opportunities for everyone to be part of the industries. Be it sales, marketing, business developments. Every part you can play in the gaming industries.
Okay. So thank you so much for your feedback and opinion, Mr. Paul. So I hope students out there, so you have heard Mr. Paul. If you are thinking about being part of gaming industry, then you can start somewhere, all right, and start by listening to this lifestyle. All right, moving forward, Mr. Hazri.
Yes.
Okay, ada budak yang bertanyakan, do gaming needs to have technical background atau knowledge? Perlu ke mereka ada technical background atau sedikit technical knowledge untuk menceburi bidang gaming industri ni?
Okay, like what Mr. Paul just mentioned tadi. Okay, dalam industri gaming ni yang dua kategori tadi tu, which is to become a professional gamer ataupun to become a developer. So there are two pathways. So people can make money from both path. It's just that kalau yang dari segi pro gaming tu memang kena ada skill juga, but in the gaming skill lah. Kalau nak go with the path of a developer, developer pula dia pecah dua lagi, maybe on the art aspect or in the technical aspect, which is programming and so on. So semuanya memerlukan the relevant skill set lah. So I would say, yeah.
So kena ada sikit lah.
Yeah.
Kalau tak banyak pun mesti kena tahu sikit lah.
Yes.
Can it be self-taught? Boleh ke?
Exactly.
Kalau boleh lah.
Nowadays everything can be self-taught. Although it's better to have like a proper education, but it doesn't stop you if let's say you have the passion, your drive is very strong. I think you can make it in this industry.
Okay. And Mr. Sean, one more last questions from the students before I ask other questions. Okay. They are asking game designing, like you said previously, you didn't know anything about coding and then you started to learn a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So when it comes to game designing, do they really need coding skills?
Right. So just to expand on the answers given by Paul and Hazri, there are actually a few more other pathways that you can take. There's like on the game development side, you can also be a sound designer, sound engineer, or music composer. You can also be a QA tester, and also a game designer, like Hazri mentioned as well. In terms of like your question was the skills of coding, right? Do you need coding skills as a designer? Ideally, it would be good to have, although it's not necessary, but it'll be good to have. Because in any field that you work in, whether it's design, art, or programming, whatever you do, even if it's outside that, what makes you better is practice. As a designer, you have to put your ideas to work, right? It doesn't have any value if it just sits in your head or just sits in a book. You have to implement it. So coding gives you that ability to put it into action, to test it. You need to test your ideas to understand that it works, right? Just having it in your head doesn't validate anything. Nowadays, though, there are a lot of tools available to you, whether you use Unreal, Game Maker, or Unity. All of those tools have visual scripting tools that you can just drag and drop nodes, we call it, to just form logic. So you still need the technical skills, the ability to understand and process logic intuitively, and math, right? So don't skip your
mathematics.
Okay.
So must have mathematics background sikit, eh?
Yeah. No matter if you're art, programmer, or designer, you must.
Okay. Okay, alright. So I just recap sikit because kadang-kadang kita cakap bahasa Inggeris, kadang-kadang so just recap in bahasa Melayu. Okay, kita ada share tentang kena ada sedikit technical background bila nak masuk industri gaming ni. It will be good. Bukannya tak boleh. Okay, tapi kalau tak boleh tu mungkin you boleh jadi Q&A tester macam Mr. Sean kata, ataupun sound engineer, right? And seperti speaker-speaker kita dah share, kalau boleh mesti ada technical background. Kalau tak boleh self-taught. Kalau yang betul-betul nak jadi atau nak jadi part of the gaming industry ni mesti kena ada passion kan. So kena sentiasa cuba practice, belajar dengan lebih lanjut macam mana nak ada technical background sikit, ataupun nak design, ataupun nak buat program, ataupun sekalipun macam Cik Hazri kata, kalau nak masuk dalam nak jadi gamers professional pun mesti kena practice kan. So sama juga macam Mr. Paul kata. Sebab sekarang in the future job dalam gaming industry ni mungkin akan lebih bertambah lagi. Jadi kalau adik-adik di luar sana yang memang fokus ataupun memang berminat untuk menjadi part of the gaming industry, boleh during MCO ni, tengah-tengah time universiti tak buka lagi, mungkin boleh start belajar lah macam mana nak belajar serba sedikit tentang coding ataupun improving technical skills, ya. Okay, alright. So moving forward, saya nak tanya sikit. Alright, so talking about the growth of the game industry in Malaysia, Mr. Paul, what is your opinion on the growth of the game industry in Malaysia? Okay,
I think to talk about this, the growth of industry have to also relate to the growth globally as well, right? Because when you talk about gaming, it's follow the technology where it goes. So of course, when you talk about technology, it will be a little bit delayed coming to the Malaysian market. But it's good also to look at the globally how's the growth have been coming along up until now. All right. So let's say back 10 years ago, or even 5 years, in the short 5 years, Malaysia gaming industry, we are basically very focused on consoles and also PCs, right? Then just back 4 or 5 years back, mobile gaming is coming up on trends, and everyone is picking up. So basically these penetrations of smartphones and also internet has increased the chances or the probability of people going into games, and also the idea of more publishers are creating a lot more casual games. It attracts more female audiences compared to back 10 years ago.
Breaking, Mr. Paul. Okay.
Is it? Am I back? Am I back?
You're okay. Now you're back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm back. All right. Okay. So I'm not too sure what I have missed, but so just a quick recap. Yes, there's been a tremendous growth, basically from 10 years to 5 years. I think I'm breaking again. Am I? No. Okay. Yeah. So
yeah.
okay. Yeah. So I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Now I can hear you. Yeah.
So as I say, now you have more female gamers globally compared to male gamers. And of course, here in Malaysia, we have more male-oriented gamers. But we know for the past 1 or 2 years, we are seeing a lot more females picking up gaming as well.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, all right. So you were breaking a little bit just now, but you are okay now. Okay, all right. So, but it's okay. It's okay. No problem. No problem, Mr. Paul. No problem. But we got the gist of it. So you are talking about the growth of industry you are talking about the growth of Asia. Apa yang ada dekat dalam gaming industry ni. Tanya a little bit about new age of age technology in games, VR, AR dan sebagainya. Okay, so actually from what we understand, current development of VR and AR is related to the IR, the policies that the governments are trying to talk about Internet of Things and whatnot. So we want to know, Mr. Hazri, I'm giving this question to you.
All right.
Okay, mungkin because we are not from the gaming industry, all right? So we're not sure, okay? That's all. Tak sure sangat, okay? So according to studymalaysia.com, so our IR revolution is expected to change lah, macam mana kita kerja ataupun macam mana kita work ataupun kita tengok business dan sebagainya. Macam kita tengok sekarang a lot of disruptive businesses, we call it, right? Okay, so that's related to ads lah dan
Okay. I'm losing you, Lisa.
in terms of changing business models and employment trends.
Sorry, just now you are disconnected.
You go. Okay. Minta maaf sangat. Okay. So
You repeat.
apologize for the inconvenience. All right. So can you explain dekat students a little bit mungkin just for them to understand more apa itu IR 4.0 and macam mana it will change the future in terms of changing business models and employment trends?
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. IR 4.0 is the fourth industrial revolution that has
Okay.
been coined by a lot of people nowadays, especially the government. So the government are pushing country towards adopting IR 4.0. So it's actually the latest advancement of technology. I mean, in terms of physical and cyber convergence. So it's combination of the technology in terms of digital technology, IoT and so on, and also the physical machinery and so on. So with these conversions, there will be a lot more like positive impact to the manufacturing, automation, and so on. So I would like to break down this IR 4.0 on top of it sits on the 9 pillars of technology. First of all, involving AR, augmented reality, and then secondly, system integration. Third, cloud computing. Fourth is big data. The fifth, IoT. The sixth is 3D printing. Seven, cybersecurity. Eight, autonomous robots. And nine is simulation. Okay, to relate back to your question, I believe gaming, when you mention about VR, AR, and so on, out of these 9 pillars, there are already 2 pillars that requires augmented reality and also virtual reality, as if for simulation. So I believe those who are joining or entering into the gaming industry, there's like I mentioned before, there's a lot of pathways. So you can become a game developer for pure entertainment games, or you can be a game developer for serious games. So when I say serious game, this can be part of the AR and simulation, the VR one. So I would say through this industrial revolution, it sparks a lot of new job opportunity. So before this, they might not have like simulation engineer, for example. Like it's being used nowadays. Even to my company, we have experienced increase in terms of the demand of such a solution. So for example, a factory in Johor, they require us to create a simulation for their engineers to handle the high risk or health and safety kind of activities. So before this, they are using the physical one-to-one, one-to-many kind of conventional way. But now, they don't need to be on the dangerous side. They just plug in their headset at the convenience of their home, and they can learn about all these health and safety risks and so on, and those HSE. So
pardon me, but this is part of the gaming juga maksudnya gaming development juga macam tu ya, lebih kurang macam you buat simulation gaming lah kira, but it's for company macam tu. Okay.
It's a repurpose of the same concept, development concept, but repurposed to a serious gaming.
Okay.
Some are using augmented reality and so on. Okay, we also have another different purposes of VR and AR, which is for therapy. So this one, we get a project from one of the university in Malaysia. So they would like to create a therapy using virtual reality to calm down people and make people relax. So for example, like when you plug into the virtual reality world, you are in the very serene, very peaceful beach somewhere with a bird chirping and so on. Yeah, so it's for therapeutic. It can be used for medical as well. So I believe,
very useful during MCO lah macam tu
Exactly. People are getting stressed, no money, and so on. So it can be a method of like for medical purposes as well. So I believe for gaming industry in the VR, AR, or I would say mixed reality, combination of both, I would say the future is interesting and is expanding. So you just need to know where you want to put yourself in the career path lah.
Okay. Just a short one, another short two questions for you, Mr. Hazri, because Mr. Gentleman, because Mr. Hazri will be leaving soon, so I'm just giving all the questions to him first. Okay. All right. So I hope your patience is very much appreciated. All right. So just nak tahu lagi sikit. The new technologies macam VR. I'm not familiar with XR, AR. Why is it being used more in games sekarang ataupun dalam industri yang lain? Adakah membantu dalam apa orang kata construction ataupun membantu dalam dari segi lain, dan kenapa teknologi ni diorang gunakan teknologi sebegini dalam dalam gaming industri dan sebagainya?
Okay, to answer this, I believe it's because the technology that's being used is meant for the upcoming future. So it's gonna be mainstream maybe the next 3 to 5 years down the road. So we might as well start to get to know about this technology. Maybe I can explain in the layman terms what virtual reality and what augmented reality for the sake of the discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, for which
nak campur bahasa Melayu sikit pun tak apa. Budak-budak ni ada yang tanya juga. Okay.
Kalau nak imagine virtual reality tu, as if kita berenang bersama-sama dengan ikan.
Okay.
Tapi kalau augmented reality tu, ikan tu pop up in front of kita punya screen. Okay. Kalau virtual reality, kita dah betul-betul immerse dalam dunia 3D, dunia virtual tu. Tapi kalau AR, kita dalam dunia nyata, cumanya the augmented object tu display on top of kita punya screen lah, dalam screen kita. Tapi tak nampak dalam dunia nyata lah. So bila combine dua-dua ni, teknologi dua-dua ni, we can have like mixed reality. So tu yang term mixed reality tu lah. So macam contoh device yang mixed reality, macam contohnya HoloLens lah from Microsoft.
HoloLens, okay.
So benda ni dah start being used in the manufacturing in Penang, for example, that we have been invited to go there to implement this technology. Okay, so bila teknologi ni makin lama makin advance, I would say it's similar to how kita move from desktop computer and now we move from the to the handphone kan. It's like very common. Yeah, everybody have phone. And then kalau tengok dia punya jarak mata dengan device tu, dulu from desktop, okay, a bit far lah. Okay, and then we have laptop, dekat sikit. And then we have phone, makin lama makin dekat.
Yes,
and now after this is virtual reality, which is maybe stuck in front of our face. Or bila teknologi tu makin advance, dia jadi very thin layer of maybe just contact lens saja, which is seamless. So kita tak perlu nak bawa kita punya laptop untuk buat kerja. Not even kita punya
macam contact lens ada sekarang
Yes, the technology getting advanced and advanced. So in a way, you can imagine phone ni pun boleh jadi obsolete. To the extent.
Okay.
Maybe anak kita lah.
That's interesting.
Apa barang bawa phone kan. To that extent.
That's interesting.
So I think it's gonna revolutionize a lot of industri, macam mana kita rely on laptop, kita rely on phone kita. Cumanya sekarang ni mungkin ramai orang tak nampak lagi dia punya future dia. Bila 5G connectivity coming in and so on.
Okay, alright. And okay, sekarang I would like to throw some questions to Mr. Sean. Alright, so thank you so much, Mr. Hazri, for the extensive explanation. Now, Mr. Sean, and thank you so much for your patience, for your next question is for you. All right, Mr. Sean, the students are asking, all right, what is the basic element required in terms of building a game?
Basic elements? A basic element would be you would need to have a gameplay loop. right? To understand what's the core thing that the players will be doing again and again and again, so that you can repeat that throughout the game. But that's just one part of it. Certain games don't even have that. If it's something as simple as a narrative game where you just pick conversations, questions and answers. But that's just one part of it. There's a lot of elements to a game. If we just to build a game like that, that would be building a game for fun. But you also have to think of the business side of it. If you really want to be in the games industry, it's like how would you monetize it? Is it a pay to play game, or is it a free game? And then if it's a free game, do you serve advertisement, or do you sell in-app purchases?
So when you started building a game, you'd be thinking about this already?
Yeah, you have to, because in the end, you need to understand who is going to play your game, right? Because when you're building a game, in the end, it's also a product, right? And then every product has a target market, like a target person that you want to sell it to, like shampoo. There's men's shampoo and women's shampoo, right? So you have to decide: is your game for women, or is your game for men? Sometimes you cannot build for both. Most of the time,
usually who are the more player, women, or girls or boys, or women or men?
Survey says it's 50% right now.
50%, yeah.
So we're all in match, but usually you don't really target a demographic like that. You target a psychographic. So it could be high school girl who likes ponies.
Oh, okay.
So you make a pony, and you have to make it as girly as possible.
Oh,
so that it will appeal to that 16-year-old girl who wants a pony in her life. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what's famous or what's trending now, right? Like Roblox, something like that, or like if I'm not mistaken, Frozen. So they have to make a game related to Frozen for kids and something like this. Is it?
No, it's not necessarily what is trending now. It's finding a niche.
Finding what do you for your focus, right? For each demographics, what are your focus? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, Mr. Sean, since you are a lecturer, or you were a lecturer, they are also asking, okay, if they are interested in producing games, I'm not sure whether producing games is different than designing games or whatnot. We are all here to understand. So, what are the courses that they should take? Or, aside from gaming in KDU, what course do you have basically?
So I'm actually glad you brought up producing games, because other than the technical side of design, composing, programming, art, there's also the business side, right? You have to manage the project. You have to manage the people. That will be a producer. So there's a lot of layers on top of that. So producing games, I'm assuming it will be as a producer.
Okay.
A producer can come from many different fields. In fact, actually, most of the senior game developers that are in the industry now, they actually come from very different backgrounds. They didn't go to the school for games. So today, of course, if you have the chance and you want to go into game development, you should go to a school for games, because all these people have made so many mistakes to learn all these to put into a very finely tuned course, just so you don't repeat those mistakes.
All right, understand.
Yeah, but I'm just want to repeat that the people who pioneered these come from various backgrounds, like they are physicists, they are from accounting. So a game developer who was an accountant before he became a designer, and people like me who was once an artist and now a programmer and designer.
Okay.
So you can come from different backgrounds. I realized I didn't answer your question, which is what is provided at KDU.
Yeah, what are the courses that you should take? Not just at KDU, but other courses that they should have or should take.
So the common courses for game development are in the three main disciplines, like our other speakers have mentioned: design, programming, and art.
Okay. So let's say the student. Another question is, let's say they want to be a game tester. So where does that fit, or how?
I think, okay, so the core skill for a game tester is the same core skill as any job, which is communication and
Okay.
critical thinking.
Okay.
That's
All
the
right. All right.
baseline foundation for everything.
Okay.
You
All
must be
right.
able to communicate well.
Okay, all right, all right. So for a game tester, it'd be good if they are coming from a communication background, yeah?
Not necessarily
Not
a communication
necessarily.
background, but be a people person.
Okay. In that sense, you mean like in more approachable, easier to talk to, easier to communicate with each other, so there's no miscommunication and whatnot.
Yes, but that is the base level. But in the eventually, you also need to have the vocabulary to communicate your ideas or what is technically wrong about the game that you are testing in terms that in terminologies that we commonly use in the industry.
So they'll be aligned.
Yeah.
There's no communication. It'll be more aligned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So okay, Mr. Paul, before we go to the sponsorship, one question for you.
Yes.
Do they need a certificate if they want to be part of the gaming industry, or is there any certificate that might help them to be part of the gaming industry?
Certificates, it has to depends on what are they looking at. I mean, if you say like what Hezri and Sean said, like game developers, you have to have a certain skills and a certain knowledge of how to be part of it, right? But if you say when it comes to marketing the games or being in the gaming events, producers and so on, I don't think there's a specific requirement to that. It's just more like whether you are passionate about it. Like I mentioned earlier, regardless whether what are you studying, whether you are studying biology, chemistry, or whatsoever, if you are passionate about gaming, there's no requirement to it. You can just jump into it, like Sean as well. Learn how to code himself. Then you take on then you start from there. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's good to have a certain knowledge as well. Certifications such as marketing, PR. I think that would really help them in the real world in a way. Yeah, because when you are in the gaming industry, you'll be dealing with a lot of people. The gamers themselves, the brand itself, the sponsors, and so on.
Okay. So again, it goes back to communication. Yeah, it's not like for someone who is just comfortable sitting and you have to be able to still communicate with your team members or try to communicate with your customers and whatnot. It's not just like okay for students kat luar sana yang bermain dalam gaming industry. So anda tak boleh terlalu pendiam ataupun terlalu malu ya untuk berjaya dalam gaming industry ni seperti speaker-speaker kita telah tekankan. Communication tu is very important ataupun soft skills you tu is very important to develop. So kalau nak jadi part of the gaming industry, mungkin boleh develop you punya soft skills, macam mana nak berurusan dengan orang, your personality. Jadi itu akan membantu serba sedikit. Selain daripada passion or wanting to learn or self-taught about, sebab kadang-kadang tak silap saya dalam gaming industry ni everything is very fast, right speakers? So sikit-sikit je dah berubah, sikit-sikit je berubah. Kadang-kadang mungkin apa yang belajar dekat universiti tak sempat nak catch up. Jadi must always practice dan self-taught dan sebagainya. Alright, sebelum kita move kepada kita punya lucky draw dan sponsor break, saya nak mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Encik Hazri for joining us walaupun sekejap saja. InsyaAllah nanti kita boleh panggil lagi, get to know more about it. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. So we leave you here, but I will still continue with Mr. Sean and Mr. Paul. So adik-adik di luar sana yang masih ingin tahu lebih lanjut tentang gaming industry, stay tuned with us and you will be able to earn ataupun win lucky draw yang kita telah bagi tahu tadi ya. Okay. Alright, so thank you very much Mr. Hazri.
Boleh
Alright, okay.
announcement
Aha.
kalau boleh.
Boleh.
Siapa
Silakan.
yang berminat untuk bekerja sebagai game developer with Unity background boleh apply dekat info@nexasoft.my. Memang kita ada keperluan untuk beberapa orang Unity developer lah, yang experience ke, yang junior ke. So jangan lepaskan peluang ni ya. Okey adik-adik.
Okay, very good. Okay, Mr. Hazri, macam tu nanti kita akan blast juga kepada pelajar-pelajar kita di luar sana. So you can contact with selalu berurusan dengan colleague saya Zafri kan. Jadi jadi boleh kita boleh tolong bantu untuk war-warkan tentang peluang pekerjaan yang bagus tu. Alright, thank you Encik Hazri. Thank you so much. Okay.
See you, Azri.
See you, Azri.
Okay, so let's continue with our lucky draw. Okay, so who is the winner for Mariati Mat Nasir? Adik Mariati Mat Nasir, tolong contact team My Future, okay, untuk redeem you punya lucky draw, iaitu lucky draw akan dapat seorang akan dapat rebate 1.5k, alright, dan satu lagi pemenang Liu Hong Kwang, okay, adik harus telefon kepada My Future juga, okay, sebab adik ada menang rebate 1,500, okay, alright, so kepada Liu Hong Kwang and Mariati Mat Nasir, okay, if you are listening, please contact our My Future team to redeem your prizes, okay? And again, special announcement from our sponsor. Okay, ingat tak tadi ada bagi tahu tentang special privilege untuk My Future Food, okay? Alright, so kepada students yang nak enjoy ataupun nak menggunakan My Future Food platform, alright, buat masa sekarang kita ada promotion di mana kalau adik menggunakan My Future Food apps yang terdapat di kita punya My Future apps tu, adik akan mendapat cashback ya daripada transaction yang adik dah buat ataupun orders yang adik dah buat daripada My Future Food. So kalau berminat untuk order, sekarang boleh gunakan My Future Food dan banyak lagi privilege yang adik-adik di luar sana akan dapat. Okay? Alright. So now moving forward, okay, kita nak we want to talk about benefits of playing games for students, okay, and common misconceptions of playing games. This is very interesting, yeah, Mr. Sean and Mr. Paul. Alright, okay. So, alright. So I just want to ask a little bit. Mungkin a lot of them are getting scolded from their parents, kan, kena marah asyik main game je, tak ada tolong kat rumah, or not studying, you know. Alright, so some students may face difficulties lah daripada parents diorang, and okay, so I'm sure macam, okay, I want to throw this to Mr. Paul. Mungkin Mr. Paul zaman dulu-dulu saya tak sure dah ada, zaman Mr. Paul dah ada game atau belum, tapi maybe kita nak tahu kenapa parents ni are always against playing games. Is it because of a lack of understanding ke, ataupun over playing games ke? So masa you muda-muda dulu macam mana? Ada tak challenges masa main games? Kena marah ke ataupun being encouraged? So maybe you can share a little bit.
Okay. So I think going back to the first question is why parents, kenapa parents selalu net kita bila kita main games dan semua. I think ini adalah sebab okay, so kita go back maybe 10 to 15 years, right? Bila kita cakap main game, right? You tak ada, bagi parents, mereka tak nampak satu path untuk mereka, untuk anak-anak mereka. Right? Kalau mereka main game, bagaimana mereka nak menjana pendapatan mereka? Right? Macam mana mereka nak jaga keluarga mereka di masa depan. Right? So mereka tak ada satu gambaran 10 years back, right? But compared to now, parents sekarang I think adalah lebih terbuka, right? Even back, here in 19 Miles kita ada parents yang bawa anak-anak mereka ke sini untuk buat interview dengan kita. Mereka mendapat nak nasihat kami bagaimana tolong anak-anak mereka yang yang ada minat dalam gaming, macam mana nak bantu mereka. So of course, I can say parents now and parents back then is totally different. That's one. And secondly, of course, the knowledge as well. Everyone heard about gaming. Everyone heard about esports, and everyone heard about of course there is always pros and cons. Right? Ada kebaikan dan ada keburukan dia. It's just that how you manage it in a way, right? So speaking from my experience is I'm all in all I'm a gamer. I started young playing games. So for me, parents saya mereka tak kisah sangatlah apa yang you buat, right? Tapi bagi I take it as a challenge to balance my life, between playing games and also studying. So what I did is I'm also quite rebellious when I was young. So I told them I will do whatever it takes. My responsibility as a student. I will complete my studies. I will go to my tuition class.
Make them happy lah.
Yes, as a son responsibility as well, right? So after everything, then I will spend my time playing games, probably 2 hours, 3 hours a night. So it depends. So it's the same thing that I told all our talents, our 19 Miles talents, our content creators, which are doing gaming contents. I told them, no, you better work out a schedule for yourself. Sama juga macam you ada schedule kelas apa yang you pergi dan selainnya. So you come up with a schedule, what time, berapa jam yang you nak belajar, dan selepas tu 1 jam reward yourself, play games. Then maybe after that one hour, study another 2 hours. Then you put in your schedule another 1 hour to reward yourself to play games. So that's how basically I grew up playing games, and also excel in studies in a way as well.
Okay, thank you so much for the explanation, Mr. Paul. Alright, so adik-adik yang luar sana, just now I ada soalan, how do you balance studying and life? So sekarang Mr. Paul dah ada jawab, okay. You have to reward yourself, tapi masih juga belajar, okay. Be a good son, macam Mr. Paul cakap, pergi belajar, pergi tuition dan sebagainya. Tapi tak salah nak bermain game, cuma jangan berlebih-lebihan, betul tak? Okay, alright. So satu lagi nak tanya soalan kepada Mr. Sean pula. Ada tak? Is there any proof otherwise that gaming is good, macam motor skills improvement or grammar improvement? Because I look at my nephew, alright, he's still very small. He is 6 years old, but I think that of course they are sometimes over kan main game, tapi he acquired English. I think grammarly he can speak English very well. It's because he was playing Roblox with all the gamers. So apa pendapat Mr. Sean on this matter?
Yeah, I think like what Paul said, kena ada moderasi lah. You have to balance your life, right? So it's the same with the content of the games. It really depends also. So Some games dia boleh ajar your motor skills, and then some your English, right? Like your example. Some can teach you planning or create a community, right? So basically for MMORPG, biasanya you would like form a team or form a guild, and then you learn how to organize, communicate, to make a plan for everyone to get together. So there are some benefits to like certain games. So it really depends on the games that you do play. Yeah.
Okay.
May I also add on? So I think besides that, there are benefits as well. When it comes to creating a games, like what Sean did and also Hezri. Back when I was working in Game Loft, so all the game developers in the company, they have these rules of emotional curve, right? So you have there are times when you playing the games, you feel you have the achievement, then you have the down moment. So that's where the emotional curve comes into. That's why nowadays there are a lot of what we call the bite-sized games, or we call it casual games. So like you during your lunchtime, you just pick up your games. You pick up your smartphone, launch the game, play it. Maybe 5 minutes. You feel happy, you close, and you walk away, go back, resume to your studies, your works, and so on. So that is also one of the benefits of gaming as well. It helps you with your emotions. Help you give you a bit of boost when you are not
feeling good.
Yeah.
Okay. So it also relates to macam orang kata, that's why sometimes kalau kita depressed pun, it's okay to play games, not to overplay, tapi boleh kan, ataupun saya juga lihat ada certain cikgu yang allow students main game untuk untuk communicate. Mungkin kadang-kadang budak tu malu, so dia in the games because they are communicating with people, right? It's just that hopefully it will also transpire to the reality in the.
If I can like to add on, because Paul just reminded me of something important. Previously you asked about what's the important element in a game, and answered it was a game loop. But actually much deeper than that, I hope everyone looks for this one thing that should be the core most important part of the game, and that is the game experience. What kind of experience that game gives you? Like for example, Pokemon, actually the developer or creator of Pokemon created the game because of his love of catching bugs. And he wanted other people to feel the same joy and love of catching creatures and collecting them. So that's the experience of collecting things. So if you pay attention to the great games that really stick in your mind after many, many years, it's the specific experience that it gives you, whether it makes you feel powerful, makes you feel like a survivor, or it makes you feel helpless, or it makes you feel sad and despair. You have to first identify the experience that you want, and then only the game loop, the mechanics will come in.
This is very interesting, yeah. So adik-adik di luar sana yang kita baru sedikit demi sedikit kita get to know more about our gaming industry ataupun the interesting part about it, or the hidden part yang kita nampak is just the game, right? Sometimes we don't see, like you say, the game experience ataupun the game design ataupun the game tester and sebagainya, ataupun simulation, developing simulation and whatnot. So wow, this is very interesting. Okay, but I have one question daripada student. I'm not sure whether this is something that because I'm not sure about gaming as well. Is there a difference between game art and game design? Maybe Mr. Paul, would you like to answer? Is there
game art and game design?
Yeah. Saya pun tak familiar, so I minta maaf kalau if it's redundant. I'm not sure.
I think if I'm right, maybe Sean can chip in later. I think game design has got to do with what Sean said, the flow of the games, when you create your game inside your head, how it's going to be, what levels, and so on. So when you talk about game arts, it will be the cosmetics, right? The cosmetics of let's say the characters, the game's environments and such. So, Sean, is that right?
Yeah, that's about right. For art side, it's usually about the visual development. Like you create the assets that will be visually on the screen. For a design, people think design is an easy job, and a lot of people will approach programmers saying, "I have a big idea. Can you make this game for me?" That is not design. That is an idea per se.
Idea, correct.
Okay, all right.
A designer is much more than that. It's a broad set of skills. You could be a narrative designer writing stories. You could be a mechanics designer. You can be an economics designer to design the flow of economics in the game. There's quite a lot you need to know. And the core important skill is empathy. You need to be able to put yourself in the player's shoes to understand how the player feels when they approach your game. And everything is centered around, like what I mentioned before, the experience. So if you're making that pony game, you have to understand what a 16-year-old girl wants in a pony game, not what you want.
Okay. Yeah. So the experience, like you say just now, the experience has to be important also. And how do you relate to that? And what is important is users' experience, right? So you need to know. Okay. All right. And okay. They also ask, students also ask me banyak soalan. Maybe they are very interested with it. Okay. Which one is harder to master? All right. Being a gaming designer or developer, is there a difference?
I think they both have their own challenges. Right? It will be wrong to say that one is easier than the other.
Okay. So, kids out there, if you want to be part of the gaming industry, sama juga macam kerja biasa. It's not all fun, okay? So you have to...
A lot of hard works, yes.
That's good to know. So it's still a lot of hard work. It's not like, you're just playing, right? Okay. All right. So let's talk about, moving forward, let's talk about the emergence, before I move forward to the emergence of esports, there's also one more question. Is it possible to have a career in gaming industry if you are not a gamer? Maybe you both can share your opinion on this matter.
Yes. I think I've said more than enough. Probably he or she just joined. So I just say again, you don't have to be a gamer to be in the gaming industries. You, like I said, you can join a company as a PR person, as a marketing person, as a salesperson, as a business development. So like me, I don't have any programming backgrounds. I don't have anything, but I still work for the world largest mobile games developer in the world, right? So like I said, it's up to your passions. If you really interested in gaming, you want to learn a lot more about gaming, you can always shoot an email to EA Games or any other game publishers, telling them I'm interested to be part of your company, and then they will see where they can fit you in.
Okay, so that's interesting. So you don't have to be a gamer actually. Anyone can be part of the gaming industry, right? Okay. Okay. Again, just now, Mr. Sean, you mentioned that in one game, it seems that in one game there are a lot of people coming together. So basically, just roughly, I know it's difficult to pinpoint, but just roughly to develop a good game like one of the famous one, how many people are there in a team?
I don't think it's relevant the size of the people, because a simple game like Flappy Bird, if you guys were there for the craze that was Flappy Bird,
the angry
by
bird.
one person in like 2 nights.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, okay. So it depends really because now that I understand now, most students just got to know that there are a lot of people involving in one game sometimes, like you say, the economic side or the planning side, and then the sound, and then the story creator or whatnot. So it's quite interesting to know that, even in one game, that anyone can be part of the, their career part of the games, right? Satu game tu banyak career match yang kita boleh pergi. So that's very good. All right. So moving forward, we're talking about the emergence of esports. Okay. Mr. Sean, saya throw these questions to you. Is esports in Malaysia becoming increasingly popular?
I think that's the wrong question for me. Because my concern is usually for the game developers. I'm not a very big esports person.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Paul?
Yes, definitely. Esports is getting popular in Malaysia. And of course, esports has been known by Malaysian way back before esports is gotten this big here in Malaysia. This is due to a lot of international tournaments which is going on in the Europes, in the States, in America, and because of like I said, that the internet penetrations, there are a lot more esports contents coming into the local market. Everyone can watch tournaments or live matches on their laptops, on their phones, and so on. So that's why I think why is it become this big? First, of course, like I mentioned before, the internet and smartphone penetrations. Second will be there are a lot more esports tournaments coming up, and also in the past as well, right? Third, of course, we have a lot of local heroes in esports scenes.
Ramai juga yang involved dengan esports ni
Yes, we have local players playing local, and we have even Malaysians playing overseas as well. For example, like in Europe and China. So I think these guys are mengharumkan nama Malaysia.
Nama Malaysia lah. Okay. And so they should publicize it, yeah. Sebab kita ada yang tak tahu, mungkin dari gaming, orang kata gaming community memang aware lah pasal benda ni kan.
Yes.
Okay. Alright. Tapi ada sikit lagi nak tanya. This might sound a little bit serious lah. We move forward to a more serious matter. Okay. In 2019 last year, they have a budget of 10 million. Government ada bagi allocation. So, and Minister of Youth and Sports unveiled the strategic plan for esports development, right? Betul kan? So they are aiming at turning Malaysia into esports hub in Southeast Asia. So, in your opinion, do you think the government is making the right moves in efforts of expanding the esports growth?
Are you addressing to me or Sean? Both.
Both of you, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll
you can start first with the
go first. So yes, I was at the launch of the blueprint last year. Yeah. So it was quite interesting. Of course, the blueprint that they put out is addresses a lot of concerns, especially the parents, the players. The professional players, and also the general publics, right? What I can say is that it's a good plan, but it's still down to who are the partners that they work with. Right? This is still a gray area because no one knows yet, there are a lot of course, there are a lot of questions like, okay, how are they going to utilize the budgets given? And, but I think that's a really good initiative, to start off the esports scenes here in Malaysia. So I mean, for me, I'm totally supporting it.
Okay, what about you, Mr. Sean?
So I don't know much about how the budget is being utilized, but from what I know, that there are legitimate concerns regarding esports and why you would need such a budget like that. There are concerns like for holding tournaments officially and to hold the prize givers accountable for the transactions that they make to the players and how you distribute that. That has a whole system of logistics that needs to be worked out, because there have been cases of like fraudulent transactions that is hard to track. So those I just need some regulation, and then I hope the money is put into like good causes like that to facilitate esports tournaments to legitimate and regulated level.
Okay. Another question to both of you. Are Malaysians prepared to be, or are we ready, or is it viable for us to be, the esports hub in Southeast Asia? What do you think? Maybe Mr. Sean, you can start first.
I think if those infrastructures are put in place and we can make the players and whether internationally or locally feel safe and confident in the systems we put in place, then yes, then we will be ready for that. But I can't comment much because I'm not so deeply entrenched and knowledgeable in the esports space. Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Paul?
I think yes. Also, kind of related back to the first question is, I think if they really want to make this happen, I think because now, I mean, of course, everyone they hear about esports, they get very excited. But what I see that they are currently doing is they are imagine that there's pyramid bit, and everyone is just concentrate on the tip of the pyramid. Nobody is really
building the
foundation or the grassroots, right? So that is one of our objective here as well in 90 months, because whatever that we have shared earlier during the talk as well, we want to help them with personal developments, right? Of course, there's a lot of bad raps when it comes to gaming, right? I want to talk about being toxic societies and toxic groups and all and so on. So I think if we want to make it a successful esports hubs and also here in Malaysia, I think it has to start from the ground up.
On the foundation lah.
Yes, we have to create a very solid foundation. Yeah, because we don't want to be a hub where we are producing players who are probably a toxic player or someone who is using vulgarish and so on. We want them to be. I mean, it's the same thing as we are building the next generation of Lee Chong Wei, correct?
Yes, correct.
We want someone to inspire everyone rather than when people think about someone coming from Malaysia or esports player, they are arrogant and so on. Yeah, so I think it's better to educate them early. Yeah.
Okay. So anyone, kids out there yang nak berminat to be, the esports player, maybe you can also connect with Mr. Paul. He'll advise you more on the esports industry. Okay, all right. So before kita continue with our live talk, let's take a sponsor break. Okay, and this is another round of lucky draw. So kali ini untuk lucky draw kita akan memenangi Bluetooth headphones untuk siapa-siapa yang menanti Bluetooth headphone ni. Sebelum tu saya nak tekankan lagi, okay, dalam My Future apps atau My Future website, sambil adik-adik nak nak review ataupun nak check universities, nak tengok pun nak pergi universiti mana, nak masuk gaming courses kat mana, alright. Okay, sambil-sambil tu ataupun pelajar-pelajar yang mungkin tengah buat FYP, masih menggunakan My Future platform, boleh gunakan My Future food platform, ya, di mana adik-adik akan, you will get a lot of rebates, a lot of cashback, a lot of discounts sebagai students, and kita ialah satu-satunya My Future Food ialah satu-satunya delivery apps untuk food yang fokus kepada students, yang memberi ample discounts kepada students, alright. So if you are a student or you are going to colleges and universities and even SPM leavers sekalipun, walaupun masih belum ke universiti, masih boleh join ataupun menggunakan aplikasi My Future dan My Future Food, ya. Okay, sekarang saya akan teruskan dengan My Future Lucky Draw yang untuk memenangi Bluetooth headphone. Siapa yang bertuah? Okay. Adik Hang Jin K, alright. Mr. Hang Jin K, if you are still listening, okay, please contact us before we end our live talk, okay? Contact My Future. Adik boleh pergi kepada website kita ataupun kepada kita punya Instagram dan contact My Future colleague, my Future colleague, dan dia akan adik boleh redeem adik punya Bluetooth, okay? So just give us all the information, that's the question, and your verification, and then we will provide you with the presents. Okay, you can redeem the Bluetooth headphones, alright? Okay, so sekarang moving forward, alright, kita nak tanya juga tentang career development atau mungkin kita tadi ada, we have already touched about it a little bit, right, along the way just now. But going forward ataupun moving forward, masih ada lagi yang mungkin kita boleh tahu ataupun boleh more information tentang game design and development ataupun game development industry. Okay, Mr. Sean, mungkin do you have any tips untuk students yang looking for careers in this industry?
Sorry, tips for working in this industry, right?
Yeah, for students who wants to venture into this industry.
Okay. Tips is, well, have to be hardworking and passionate, of course, right? Those are the usual things that I think you go to any industry, you would hear that, and I think it's no different for any other industry. But one thing that you must understand if you're making a game on your own is that it's going to be very difficult. And for every success story that you hear, there's 1,000 failed games that have been made. And even for myself and many other developers, we've made bad games before. And you have to, fight through that. And it's the same for any discipline. Take, for example, an artist. Before you make a masterpiece, there are 10,000 drawings, horrible drawings that you must draw first. And it's the same for games. You must make as many bad games before you come to a good game. So don't give up hope. You will make a bad game, and that's just part of the process.
This is the reality, ya, adik-adik, jangan lupa. Okay, sama je, kerja-kerja mana pun memang kena hard work. Memang along the way you will find challenges. Alright, okay. Cuma one more question to you, Mr. Sean, because you are also developing a game as well as Mr. Paul, right? Both of you can answer this question. What is the programming language? This is from the students, okay? The question is from the students. What is the programming language that they need to learn to develop a game, and what programming language is popular? I'm not familiar with this. Maybe you can also answer.
So it really depends on which game engine you use. So for Unity, the main language is C#, and without sounding biased, because again, I work for Unity,
yeah.
Which is probably the most popular game engine in Asia, probably the world as well. Most developers in the region will be looking for a Unity developer. If you are developing an Unreal game, then it will be C++. Yeah, and then other engines will have their own preferred languages. But for Unity, I would say, I think it's fair to say, because about 90% of the games on mobile devices and increasingly on AAA games on PS4 and PC are also being made on Unity. It's fair to say maybe C# is the most popular language right now.
Oh, okay. All right. So I hope that answers the questions for untuk adik yang bertanyakan soalan tu. Okay. Moving forward to Mr. Paul. How can students use their skill sets in the game industry? Maybe this is they just want to know how is it related to the game industry. We have touched about it also a little bit, but maybe you can elaborate more.
Skill sets.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give me an example of what kind of skills that they are probably asking?
Okay, creative design, coding, programming.
In gaming.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. So I mean
macam tadi kan, we're not just talking about gaming industry. Maksudnya, what can they do? I mean, in terms of career-wise, let's say they have this skill sets, but maybe they don't want to be involved in gaming. So aside that, maybe ini student selalunya yang macam dah ambil gaming courses, mungkin dah tak minat.
Okay.
Something like that, right? So they now come back to. That's why these questions are usually from them. So they just might want to know what's gonna happen if they don't really like.
I mean, of course, if whatever skill that they learn in the gaming industry, and if they doesn't like it, they can always learn something new, right? When you talk about new skill sets, you can learn it in a pretty much faster pace compared to back when I was in the university or secondary schools. Right now, you have so many online learning platforms. Same thing like how Sean learn about programming as well, video game development as well. So I guess it's the same thing. If you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are like thinking, I want to be in the gaming industry. I want to learn these skills. But once they started rendam kaki inside, they feel like, oh, this is not something for me. They can always change. I think the most important thing is also your attitude and commitment. I think this is the most important thing. Regardless, which industries that you are going, as long as you have both of these, you can be successful wherever you are, right? Because like what we tell most of our talents here is, resources and skills you can always find. If you do not have a PC, earn money and buy. If you want to learn some skills, video editing on learning platforms, or you can just YouTube it or so on. Your attitude and commitment, that's the most important thing that everyone have to keep on practicing this.
Continue lah, keep on moving lah. Macam Mr. Sean kata tadi, jangan give up lah kan. Students kepada pelajar-pelajar, kalau dah susah sikit, jangan give up, try again, right?
Yeah, because there's no harm learning new skills as well, right? You might learn gaming skills now, and you learn new skills, but maybe both of these skills can be used in a different industry.
Yeah. Correct. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Actually, if we are going to move forward, tapi we will play a video, and I think Mr. Sean, you will explain a little bit about this video. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to add on a small thing to Paul about
right.
learning, is that when you're in the game industry and the industry changes a lot, this is a tip lah, again,
Mm-hmm.
to add on from just now, is that you will always learn something every year, every month, every day. So
It's
I
fast
hope you
paced.
learn.
Yeah,
I
fast
hope you
changing.
love learning.
So, those who are interested in gaming industry must also learning. Okay, not necessarily like theoretical,
For
but
those of
try
you who
to
haven't
learn
been here,
more
it's
because
a really cool event
macam
where
Mr. Sean and Mr. Paul kata, it's fast changing. All right, so you have to keep up with the technology. Okay, so we shall start
For
with
those
the
of you who haven't been here, it's
video.
a
Can we play the video now?
Do you want me to talk over it?
Yeah.
Actually, the video has commentary, so
Oh, okay. So
So a brief
we'll
introduction. I'll maybe do a brief introduction, then we can go to it. I'll do an introduction to what the video is, then you can go into it, and you'll just let the people in the video talk about it.
Okay, fine. You can do
So,
the introduction. Yeah.
So as a chapter coordinator of IGDA Malaysia, I manage sort of the game developers community. So I mentioned before that I set up bi-monthly events where game developers are invited to just come with a laptop setup and then let people play their games, exchange ideas and share the troubles they're facing and exchange ideas and learn from each other, basically. So this event that is in the video, I shot with my simple phone, kind of interview several people who attended these events multiple times. Yeah.
Okay. How frequent again? Did you say that this?
So yeah, before COVID is every 2 months.
Okay, every 2 months. So now not for the time being lah, but we just want to share later on if the COVID can be subside or we find new vaccine, then we can move forward again. Okay. So this video is around 3.5 minutes long. So let's take a look at it. All right. And who knows, if you are interested, you can join Mr. Sean's event. Can we take a look at it? All right.
For those of you who haven't been here, it's a really cool event where you can come here, showcase your game, talk to people, and like even if you don't have a game or you don't have much experience in the industry, I think this event is perfect for you.
Newbies or anyone, like if you have the heart for games or anything, you should really come here.
Game Dev Hangout is actually a really good place because as a student and as someone who likes to learn, you would meet a lot more people, you will see their different engines, the way they program some stuff, and you can just talk with them to learn how to do certain things. And I've learned so many things throughout my years as a student because of Game Dev Hangout. And right now, I actually just play tested my game. I just found so many people in the industry who are so helpful and willing to share their experiences as well.
I mean, I can see a lot of people that are more experienced than me, but it's very cool. I mean, in terms of managing to see people building what they love, and that's very inspiring, I guess.
We get to see the Malaysian industry grow together as a whole. So it's not just you versus me over here, it's about us entirely. Like we may be working on completely different games, but because of the hangout, we get to hang out together as a unit, as Malaysians and all that, learn from each other, see each other's work, and then just get that sense that, hey, every time I come here, you see the industry grow. So that's magic.
Speaking with new people, different people, and that's kind of like how I found out about different companies that I would not have considered before or would not have otherwise known of.
Overall, if you're a student or not, and you're interested in the games industry and you want to see what developers locally can do, this is the place to come and see that. You can network with people, talk to them, play their game. Even if you have questions to ask regarding your own development, you can ask here. You can come here and discuss with people who have experience doing it, and it helps nurture our community better.
We've had like a bunch of cool talks here and there every month. Unfortunately, this time I didn't get to hear it because I came late. The best thing about this year is when people show their games, and especially the networking is the greatest part. As working for Streamline, I'm often looking for people to join us and join my team to level up themselves. So we're always looking for interns and people that could potentially join us.
as a student, you know, you don't really know who's out there, what people are doing. And this is a really great way to see like what's currently going on right now, to see what you can aspire to be, so you know how to work towards that. And I found this to be a really great experience, and I plan on coming for many more of these events in the future.
When I was still studying, and even after I graduated, I'm not really a talkative person. I don't really go out there and talk to people. But this hangout shows me like I can see people who have the same interests as me.
Even though it sounds cliche, but gives me like hope for like my future in this industry, and like, you know, like affirming my decision to continue in this like game development.
When I come here, I say it really reminds me why I became a game developer in the first place, right? Because you can see all these people, right? Blood, sweat and tears, get tired, it's a long day, yet they smile in the face and say, check out my game, right? Then I show them my game, we get the feedback, this ding dong coming back, makes my game better. They say, oh, this is a vibrant community, but I'm not doing it just for the sake of doing it. Something I do matters.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. So if you are interested to join Mr. Sean's event, Mr. Sean, during this COVID, when will it be next? Ataupun is there like an event with lesser people?
So sorry. So we don't do physical gathering anymore, but we meet online on the Discord platform.
Discord platform, playing the games on platform, yeah?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, alright, okay. Alright. So you play, so you don't have, as of now, no plans to physically yet?
Yeah, no plans to physically gather yet.
Previously, how many people actually attend the event? One event, how many people?
Yeah, from the video you saw, it's usually about 80 to 100. The highest we had, it was 100 people, but the average is about 60 to 80 individuals.
So like you say, they can set up the computer and they can learn from their friends, from the peers. Alright. So this is, okay, so adik-adik di luar sana yang ingin ataupun want to be part of the gaming community, alright, okay. So you can join IGD Association punya events, alright. You can now, if you're playing games, now you know that you can have it on Discord, alright. Okay. So on Discord, how often does when will it be the next event?
So actually, it's been a while because I've been busy the past few months. I think the last we had was in May. But just to be clear, it's a game developer event. So the games that you bring is games that you make yourself. We don't really encourage you to bring games made like in Japan or in US, because it's not about them. It's about games buatan Malaysia.
We want to promote made in Malaysia lah kan? Yeah. Because as you yourself and as Mr. Paul himself, yeah, right, Mr. Paul, actually you are both prominent businessmen in the gaming industry. So we should actually be proud of also being Malaysian, that we are capable. We have the capability to be on par with the world as how we handle the COVID as well. So adik di luar sana yang if you want to have more coaching ataupun mentor dari segi developing game, so you boleh pergi sana. Mungkin you dah develop pun game, kan? Betul tak, Mr. Sean? Ataupun mungkin dah develop game tapi nak improve, boleh juga kan, Mr. Sean? Okay, alright. Okay. So kalau mungkin dah ada game ataupun dah ada idea but tak tahu macam mana nak materialize it, can come to the event, alright? And you can also make friends. That's the best part, okay? Alright, okay. So that's very good. So untuk mereka yang di luar sana, but it's relatively where will it be announced if you have another event? Where can they go?
So we have a Facebook page called IGDA Malaysia. You just type IGDA Malaysia on the Facebook search bar and you can find it.
Okay. Alright. So thank you very much, Mr. Sean, for the information. Alright. Okay, so now moving forward, this will be the last chapter, and we want to know, maybe students, a lot of students, they want to have questions, but we won't have time. So anyone yang nak tahu more, you can just text us or text my future. All right, it'll be we don't have time to cater to all of your questions. I know you have a lot of questions because this is one of the interesting topic that we have. Okay, okay. The last soalan. Move forward to Mr. Paul. Saya nak tanya Mr. Paul dulu. Okay. In their tertiary education, katakanlah dia nak buat diploma atau degree. Okay, boleh ceritakan sikit macam mana career pathway dia orang. Mungkin kadang-kadang ada yang dah ambil course gaming. Lepas tu mungkin apply dekat company biasa tapi tak tahu macam mana nak, nak improve dia orang punya skill. So kita nak tahu macam mana career pathway yang mencorakkan selepas dia orang, sepatutnya dia orang ambil course apa, skill-skills yang dia orang perlu develop, dan kemudian macam mana dia dapatkan kerja di company-company dalam gaming industry ni. Mr. Paul?
Okay. Regarding this, I think for them to what they can improve on is of course what we have discussed earlier as well is the communication skills, right? I think that is the most important thing. Regardless whether you are a game programmer or you're working in the gaming industries. I think communication is the most important thing. So I think for them, what kind of what are the path that they are choosing is very much dependable on them, right? Let's say, for example, like what you said, if they already taken the course of gaming, so it is also depending on what kind of course do they take, whether it's game development or esports management, or it could be just game development courses. I'm not too sure. But,
banyak courses sekarang.
Yes, they are quite plenty of them. I think back then when I was about to go into university as well, there are actually a lot of courses as well, but not very focusing too much on gaming. It's more like graphic designs, 3D designs, and all those kinds of things. So now you have a lot more courses. There's so many branches coming out right now. So it's students have to ask themselves, whatever that I learn in this course, what other things that I can use it on? What are the things that I can improve myself as well to be in a different industries? So I think this is down to themselves where they want to head on. Of course, my future, myself or Sean's, we can give feedbacks, we can share our experience. But at the end of the day, it's still their choices. If you feel like you are making the wrong choices or the bad choices, taking game development or anything to do with gaming industries, I think you guys don't have to be feel bad about it or too sad. Like I said, there are many other industries that require people like you guys, or the skill sets, or also your knowledge as well, right? So back to the same point which I highlighted, is down to your attitude and commitment. So that's about it.
Basically, how you chart your ways again, it goes back what do you want to achieve and how you're going to do it. There's no straight path. It's quite different from other industries. And you just go straight and then Yeah. All right.
Right. So like I mean, just to share. So like back during my school time as well, I'm from science students. I mean, I'm from science class.
Okay. All right.
And now I'm totally way out of the path. But I wouldn't say that whatever that I've learned through my secondary school in science streams, it does help me a lot to where am I right now. Yeah.
Like you say, mathematics is important, eh?
Yes, of course.
In the gaming industry. Okay. All right. So thank you, Mr. Paul, for the explanation. Now, one last question for Mr. Sean. Okay, since you used to be a lecturer at KDU College, can you share a little bit about your education experience with students? Maybe is there any memorable students that you remember, whether they are talented or maybe you can share a little bit about them.
Yeah, definitely. I think the core skill is, again, have to emphasize is communication. And actually the other thing is also critical thinking. And there's a lot of other things that were thrown out. I think Paul threw out one of the number one key elements, which is also attitude. And those are the three criteria that made the few people who are working with me now, were hired to work with me. And they were a few of them were my students as well.
Okay, all right.
And instantly, as soon as I saw that attitude, as a lecturer, I sort of targeted him already. I don't know if it's the right thing to say, but like, okay, this boy has the right attitude. When he graduates, I'm going to attack him and then pull him into my company. That's what I did.
Okay. I guess it's the same, yeah. In every industry, ya, adik-adik, attitude penting, hard work penting, communication. So seperti live talk yang sebelumnya, benda-benda ni ataupun skills ni is very important, betul tak? Bukan saja gaming ni untuk macam saya kata tadi, ataupun Mr. Sean ataupun Mr. Paul ataupun even Mr. Hazri cakap tadi, it's not semata-mata untuk fun je macam kita main game je, tak ada. Dia memang bekerja juga, macam bekerja juga, ya. Okay, so thank you both gentlemen for the explanation, and thank you so much for being part of our My Future Live Talk today. It has been a very interesting night, interesting discussion. I'm sure kebanyakan students dah belajar daripada speaker-speaker kita ataupun get more information daripada speaker-speaker kita, dan of course we ourselves at My Future also have learned a lot of things from your end, yeah, Mr. Sean and Mr. Paul, and we are very honored to have you, Mr. Sean, Mr. Paul, and Mr. Hazri to be part of our live talk. We are very honored. You are all prominent individuals in the gaming industries, and we are very happy to have you on board. But before we close our curtains today, if you don't mind waiting for just a little while, I need to draw one more lot for the gaming laptop. So once they win this gaming laptop, maybe you can join Mr. Sean's event, or you can join Mr. Paul's company to have more skills in your in gaming. All right. Okay. So who will be the lucky winner for the gaming laptop? All right. Okay. So this will be Mr. Goh Tak Sang. Alright, adik Go Tak Sang. If you are the winner of the gaming laptop, please give us a call at My Future. Alright. By tonight. Please give it a call by tonight or latest by tomorrow morning. Alright, okay. Don't wait for too long. If not, you cannot redeem the gaming laptop anymore. All right. So latest by tomorrow morning, you have got to call us back. All right, and tell us all your details, and we'll verify your details, and then you can win the gaming laptop. All right. So again, some words from the sponsor. Okay, My Future Food. Now you get to know more about My Future, and every hungry student. It's My Future is for every hungry student. So as how My Future is to all the students, we help you to get into the right college for you, or the right university for you, or the right courses for you. We also want to cater to your ecosystem, whereby we have My Future Food now and it's gonna be your best friend because we have up to 70% discount for students who are using My Future Food. So you have to register with My Future. You have to register with My Future Food and be part of My Future community, and you will enjoy all the perks that you can have. Again, thank you, gentlemen, for for being part of this live talk. And again, we are very honored, and we hope to keep in touch with you, Mr. Sean and Mr. Paul, and also Mr. Hazri. Um, Thank you again. We would like to keep in touch. Who knows? Maybe we'll have another live talk session on the gaming industry. And to all students he has been asking a lot of questions. Tanya soalan banyak. Kita memang tak sempat, tak cukup time nak cater to everyone. Yeah, semua very interested in the gaming industry. Yeah, this is a very very rare information that we got a very informative discussion today, and thank you again. All right, so thank you students who has been with us and loyal with us. All right, so sebelum saya menutup tirai, I would like to say good night, and also selamat Hari Merdeka for you guys to enjoy soon. All right, and take a look at My Future, take a look at My Future Food, and also you can take a look at the in the game developers association, Mr. Paul's company, or even Mr. Hazrin company, Mr. Paul from 19th Miles again. All right, Mr. Sean from International Game Developer Association. All right, and Mr. Hazri from Nexus Soft. All right, so you guys can go through their website, learn more about the gaming industry, and we also would like to keep in touch from My Future to Mr. Sean and Mr. Paul. Again, thank you very much, and you have a good night ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa, and
All
also.
right.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right. So before I go again, any last words for the students, Mr. Paul or Mr. Sean? Mr. Paul first. You can start.
Okay. So to the students, follow. I mean, not say follow your heart, but find the right courses that you think has a future for you. Make mistakes. Don't too worry about it. Then as you go along, learn and improve upon what you experienced in the past, and then then you'll be fine.
Okay, wise words from Mr. Paul. Mr. Sean?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Make mistakes and learn from them. Important thing is learn from your mistakes, because you will make them. And whatever knowledge that you pick up, it's not useless, right? Even if it's not related to the game industry or game development, you will find a way down the road to combine them together to make it special that only you can make it. Other than that, I want to take this opportunity to do a shout out. If you were to follow IGDA Malaysia on Facebook page, we usually announce when news about the game industry in Malaysia, when games are launching or a game trailer from Malaysia pops up. And this week is the release date, the release launch day. I think it's 1 or 2 days ago for No Straight Roads, which is one of the biggest Malaysian games ever made. That's fully made in Malaysia, art, design, programming.
Congratulations! Okay.
Created by a good friend of mine, Wan Hazmir, who was the lead designer for Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, wow.
If you have a PS4, a Nintendo Switch, an Xbox One, or PC on Steam, get No Straight Roads.
Wow. Okay. Listen to Mr. Sean. All right, that's very nice. Okay. All right. So thank you again, Mr. Sean and Mr. Paul. And again, we are very honored to have you, and also we are very honored to have Mr. Hazri as well. All right. And these gentlemen, thank you so much. And these prominent gentlemen, very well known in the gaming industry. So you might reach out to them from International Game Developers, from Mr. Sean, from 19 Miles, from Mr. Paul. Okay, you can go to 19 Miles if you want to develop more of your skills, all right? And also to Mr. Hazri from Nexus Soft. He has also mentioned that job openings. So anyone who is interested, you can submit your resume to my future, and we can help you patch out to Mr. Hazri as well. Yeah, all right. So again, I would like to say thank you so much, and thank you for your time. And Selamat Hari Merdeka to everyone, to all the students who are listening as well. All right. So thank you so much, and good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Bye.
Have a great evening.
You too. Have a good evening. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, can talk. Okay.